Hi, my name is Jennifer Clarke, and I work with my mom, Elke Clarke, mentoring and coaching creative entrepreneurs on how to make money online. And today I'm going to be showing you how to create patterns using shapes with the Zazzle design tool. If you don't know what Zazzle is, it is a unique print-on-demand online platform where you, as a designer or as a creative, can make money online through royalties. I just wanted to say that if you have not watched my previous tutorials using the Zazzle design hacks on YouTube or on our blog at elkeclarke.com, you should check them out because I use some elements in this tutorial of the teachings that I taught you before in those videos in terms of how to create shapes and how to resize them and how to change the colors. So today, because I'm going to be manipulating shapes, I want you to know exactly how to create a shape before you watch this video. So check those out if you haven't watched them. And now I want to get into the tutorial on how to create a pattern using the shape tool with the Zazzle design tool. Okay, so I am logged in to Zazzle.com and I have actually started to create a pillow for the design purposes of this tutorial. So it looks a little bit funny right now. I've just got a triangle here, a pink triangle with a pink bordered triangle with a white fill on a white background on a pillow, and then on the back of the pillow, I've changed the color so it's gray, and you can see I've created a circle here. As I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, if you have not watched my other tutorial on YouTube or on the blog at elkeclarke.com on how to create shapes, I suggest that you watch that first so you know exactly how to create a shape and how to manipulate the border color and the size of them. So I'm going to go into Edit. And now what I want to do is show you how to create a pattern using shapes. On Zazzle, with their design tool, you can see on the left-hand side here, there's a button that says shapes. You have the option to use a line, rectangle, circle, and a triangle. For this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to manipulate a triangle and a circle, but you can obviously use these different techniques that I show you in this video to play around with lines and rectangles as well. Okay, so I have now created my circle here, and I've made it much smaller. So I've used the scale tool here, and I've changed the fill color and the border color to be both white. You can play around with that, but I wanted to show you how to create a polka dot pattern here using the circle. So my circle is centered. I've got it selected in my layers tool. And what I'm going to do is go up at the top here, and there's a button that says tiling. So I'm going to click on tiling, and I'm going to show you all of these different options. Right now I've got none selected, so that means that it's just its normal shape and there is no pattern style or tiling style applied to my shape. And what you can do is play around with these. Because my shape is, uniform, it does not have anything different between the sizing or the object. Like, there's no difference in it. It's just like a normal circle. The mirror and the basic will be the same. The mirror basically means, as you can see here with the smiley face, that I'll turn it upside down. But because my circle is the exact same all the way around, it won't have an effect. So the three that I'm going to play around with to show you how this works is the basic, the half brick, and the half drop. Each of these create a different type of pattern, which you can easily manipulate and play around with, which will make a very cool design for your design or pattern that you want to create without having to use a Photoshop program. So I'm going to click on the basic right now, and it will pop up with this very cool polka dot, or diamond shaped pattern if you're being focused on the background color. So if I wanted to preview it now on my actual pillow, I can just say done, and you will see that I've created a very cool either diamond shape, which you can see here, or the circular pattern. And just by easily manipulating my circle, I've created a pattern. I'm going to go in and edit, and I'm going to then now play around with this. I'm going to just say undo. I'm going to go back to the original one. I'm going to click on the half brick, And now you can see that instead of actually having the diamond shape, I've got more of like a line here. And that creates a different type of polka dot pattern, so to speak. Then I'm going to go and say undo, and I'm going to go back and go to the half drop. And once again, this creates a different pattern. This is the same kind of pattern that I had with the half brick, except now it's horizontal. You can also play around now with the rotation to make the angle of your pattern different. And you can also play around with the flips too. So based on what you want to create, you have a lot of, move around room with, and you can design something that you wouldn't have normally been able to design on the previous design tool, but because they have now allowed shapes and manipulating those shapes with tiling, you can create a very cool pattern. Obviously, you can now change the fill color. If I wanted it now to be blue, we can make a completely different design that we used to have. We can also play around with the border thickness too, and also the border color to make these circles have a smaller border size. And let's see if this is going to be applied to the design. I think I have to do it much smaller for you to actually notice. But now you can see that my circles are a little bit further apart. You can see more of the background color rather than that border thickness. So that is playing around with the circle. You have many different options that you can do and play around with. You can obviously also change the background color to be white. So then now you obviously just have like a polka dot pattern rather than seeing the border and the background too. And yeah, it's very cool. It's very, very user friendly. Creating patterns with shapes is super easy. You can obviously play around with the flip tool. Then you can make the degrees different. Then we can go back and we can change the tiling to be at basic. Yeah, whatever you would like. If you wanted your polka dot design to be formal, informal, diagonal, sideways, whatever. Now I'm going to go and show you how you can manipulate a triangle too. And I've decided to keep the background white and also the inner fill or the fill color of the triangle white, so it creates more of a line pattern. So all you see is actually the border. And we're going to create this kind of like cool geometrical shape pattern. So I've got my layer for the triangle selected, and then now I'm going to go into the basic. And as you can see here, now I've got this kind of like cool geometric shape. I'm going to then manipulate the border thickness a little bit so that it becomes a little bit stronger and each of the triangles touch each other. And let's see. Now all of them are touching and we've created this very cool geometric triangle pattern. Now I'm going to just say done so you can see it in the full form here. And you can see here I've got my polka dot on the back and I've got my very cool triangle on the front. And once again, you can play around with the border thickness. And maybe if you wanted to make it thinner, let's just make it 9. So it's extremely thin. Then we're going to play around with the rotation. Then we're also going to play around with the tiling. So it's half brick. So now we've made all the triangles kind of line up in a line on the side. I'm going to now play around with the border thickness just a little bit so that hopefully each of them touch here. So we've got a line. So it looks a little bit more concise. And yeah, and then now when you say done, we went from that first design to this one here. And so you can create very intricate geometrical patterns just playing around and manipulating the shape function on the Zazzle design tool. And of course, you can play around with background colors. You can play around with the fill and the border colors. let's just give you one example here. So if I want now the background color to be this sort of like pinky, then I also want the triangle. Let's say I want it to be now a gray. And then we're going to change now the border color again to maybe the white. And so now we've got this really cool pattern as well. So you can definitely manipulate this. This usually and previously would have had to be done in Photoshop, and it would have been a lot of hard work. Now it honestly took me a couple minutes to create this very cool pattern, and so now you can easily do it too. And honestly, it's not that hard. Okay, so I really hope that you learned something on how to create patterns using the shape tool in the new Zazzle design tool. It is extremely easy. All you have to do is play around with the shape function using the fill colors, the border colors, the border size, and also your background colors to create very cool and interesting patterns using shapes. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next week with another Zazzle tutorial on how to use the design tool. And if you have not checked out our YouTube channel, please do so, because as I mentioned previously in this video, I have a couple other videos on how to use the design tool using shapes, using fonts, and then also using templates, which you should check out if you had not watched those yet. And I will see you next week, and thank you very much for watching. Once again, my name is Jennifer Clarke, and I will see you later. Bye.